Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Conspiracy Castle. I am your conspiracy asshole. Primetime 99 Alex Stein on the grind all the time. And we have a very, very, very special guest. We got Steve Poikonen coming on. He's going to blow your mind. He's going to tell you some truth you never heard. But, guys, we got to get our minds right before we bring our guests on, guys. We got to freaking dive deep into that pineal gland. You got to hear that music. Put the headphones in your ear. If I'm in your iPod right now, realize we're about to get it on. We're about to bring the heat. All right, and with that, I want to bring on our very special guest, a truther, has his own website. He's on Rokfin. He's on YouTube. He's been censored. He's just like me, and that's why I respect him so much. And with that, I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Poikonen, welcome to the Conspiracy Castle.
Hey, Alex, how you doing, man? I appreciate being here.
I'm doing good. I'm doing better now that you're here, and I'm saying you were so flexible. I'm telling you, it's annoying as crap. You know, you're a busy man. We're gonna show your website, but you do a lot of shows. You stream every day, basically. Does it look like? How often do you do a show?
Yeah, we end up doing about 5 shows a week, even if it's not all on the 5 days a week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You do enough shows that equals that, and you create a lot of content. Is what basically is what I'm trying to get out. And guys, all the links are going to be in the description, so you're going to be able to see Steve's links. So Steve, I want to start off with the heavy hitter. So, not heavy hitter, but I know you're on your website. You have a dedicated vigil to Julian Assange. And let me look and see how is the audio, guys, in the chat. Oh, my mic is loud. Of course, my mic's loud. Gosh dang it, my mic's loud. Sorry, they always say that. Okay, I'm talking into it a little much. Hopefully it's a little better. Your sound is high, Steve's maybe low. Okay, Steve, let me see. I tried to test.
I'm also kind of quiet. I'll get more amped up as we get into this, I promise.
No, it's fine. And don't worry, I'm a psychopath. I'm crazy. But, you don't have to be like me. Everybody's like, oh, you're on methamphetamines. It's funny. I actually even gotten I worked on the TV show Cheaters for a long time. And, it's here in Dallas. And I was really good friends with the host, Clark Gable, and he was my buddy. He was a big-time party animal, did a lot of blow and pills and stuff. But I would have never thought he would have died, and he bought some pain pills that were fentanyl and just took a couple pills and died. Really sad thing, but then after that, I was like, I got sober, and so now I'd like to puff the devil's lettuce a little bit. But I don't even drink. I don't do pills. My life's changed for the better, so I'm not anti-drugs. I might take a mushroom here or there, but it's changed my life. I'm anti-alcohol. I really don't like alcohol, though.
I am been about 5 years since I had a drink, and I feel just so much better about it. I couldn't do what I'm doing right now if I was still drinking. I couldn't be effective as an activist, as an organizer, or a communicator in general. Not that like I'm saying that people can't. I couldn't, so I don't.
Well, a lot of people can be doing drunk, but I don't believe they can. See, Steve, now this is how, I guess I'm not high and mighty or whatever, but I don't even miss alcohol. And when I look at people drinking, this sounds crazy. People are going to say, Alex, you're an asshole. I feel sorry for people when I see people get drunk, only because I have nightmares now. I'm not sober. I'm not some guy that I don't want to seem straight laced. It's just alcohol. If I needed a pain medicine for surgery, I'd pop that. I'm not sober. I'm just saying I have nightmares, and in the nightmare I'm drunk and I wake up. I'm so happy that I'm sober. So it's like literally I don't envy a person that's all shit-faced drunk. But to each their own. I didn't know this was going to be the anti-alcohol stock. You never know where we're going to go, Steve, and that's not usually where this show is. But let's start off real quick. So you're an activist. Obviously, we talk about that. You're, a truther. It's annoying. I know you kind of try to keep a low profile, I believe, a little bit, Steve. You don't have your name on anything. It's all slownewsdayshow.com. I couldn't find anything with Steve Poikonen on it whatsoever that you typed out yourself. Is that because you are worried about the abuse that Julian Assange is faced? I mean, he's a top journalist, and his whole life's been ruined for, WikiLeaks, basically spreading the truth.
I initially maybe, but I mean, at the point when I became the national organizer for Action for Assange, and my name's out there.
Yeah.
So, and I say my name within the first 8 seconds of the introduction of our show. It's not that I'm necessarily worried about it. I guess it's just kind of rolled out that way. I think as we go forward over the next couple of years, I'll probably end up with my name out there a little bit more. But I'm also, the whole concept of the show is that I have on people smarter than me and ask them questions. So the show itself is more about the guest than it is about me anyway.
That makes sense. Okay, then maybe that's why your name's all and about it. You kind of want to keep it neutral and more about the guest than about yourself. Hey, I respect that, Steve, 100%. And this is what I'm gonna say. So you're really tied into Assange. You know, they said he had a cat, right, in the embassy, in his last embassy. Do you know anything about his embassy cat? And he ended up having to give up the cat because he felt sorry for the cat because the cat's life was so bad. What about? I'm a cat nut. The reason why I was asked, I have toxoplasmosis from dealing with a cat's fecal matter. I have 4 cats. I want to know about Assange's cat. I'm a cat nut. What do you know about it?
The rumors of any maltreatment to a or any feline have been greatly exaggerated. To the best of our knowledge, embassy cat is perfectly healthy and all.
Yeah, no, I never heard that there's anything bad with that. I'm saying I think Assange gave it up to somebody because he said his life was so terrible that he felt bad that the cat deserved a better treatment than. That's what I'm saying. That's why he gave it up for adoption. Is because the cat. He said the cat's perfectly healthy. The cat deserved better treatment than he was getting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the cat, the cat was free to go outside. The cat wasn't the subject of a multinational and multi-intelligence agency targeting operation. So in every regard, the cat had significantly much more freedom than Julian Assange. So I would be hard pressed to keep a pet in a building that I couldn't leave.
Yeah. Of course. It'd be very hard, very traumatic worrying about it, at night. I mean, I'm a nut about cats. I know you probably don't get on a lot of interviews people talking about Julian Assange's cat. That's probably not one of the first questions. Okay, so tell me this, though. What do you think about the validity of WikiLeaks? Because I'm a WikiLeaks nut. I love Hillary Clinton. When I say I love Hillary Clinton, she's a satanic worshiper. You know what I mean? And I believe that in her leaked emails, it talks about she got an email in Haiti talking about sacrificing a chicken to Moloch. That's my favorite email. That's what I'm saying. That's my favorite all-time email. Every email I've ever gotten, I've never gotten an email as good as reading that email. So I'm saying that WikiLeaks stuff, it's like, I believe it to be true, but how do you know that's not a psyop? The WikiLeaks stuff that they wanted to get out, and even the more messed up stuff we don't even get to see type situation. What do you think?
Well, if it is, it's not working great for the people who are corrupt, because WikiLeaks has a pretty good track record of putting people behind bars with the information that they released. It just happens more in like the global South and in Europe than it does here in the U.S. There's a significant number of people that have gone down or had to change the entire way that they move as a result of WikiLeaks drops. And I mean, we're in general much better off having primary source documentation that we can go to for information than we are not. I don't know. I guess my pushback to that is always, if it's a psyop, why would you spend hundreds of billions of dollars over the course of more than a decade to silence one man and his publication? Well, who gains from that?
No, I don't know, but I'm just saying I feel like everybody like him, Snowden, once you get to that level of target, it's almost like, why not just kill him, Why not just, and I'm not even saying that they should do that, and I'm not calling Julian Assange fake. I think he's the realest one for sure, but it's like, who else is it? Who's the one that who's the one that, who is the leaker?
Chelsea Manning?
Yeah, Chelsea Manning. I'm just saying all the leakers become these kind of weird celebrities. And even though I want to be a big-time broadcaster, I guess, I just feel like you almost have to sell out to even become to that level. Is that crazy? And I'm not saying Julian Assange.
I don't know, I mean, Chelsea did 2 direct actions with a Brooklyn-based, outreach group or something, help people get food and masks during the first part of the corona whole bullshit, and other than that, man, she doesn't do interviews, really. She doesn't talk about any of her whistleblowing or any of that. She's got a Twitch channel, right, where she plays fucking city planning video games and the occasional like space pirate shit, but it's not like she got out of prison for the third time, and then went and like, wrote a bunch of books, did a tour, went on Oprah, danced with Ellen and shit like that. Like she was like, yo, dude, leave me the fuck alone. I don't want any part of this. So I mean, yeah, dude, being tortured by the government for a solid year, if you're in solitary in a black site in Fallujah before you even get brought to Quantico to be tortured again, might mess you up a little bit. Might.
No, for sure, for sure. But I believe in the heart attack gun too. Do you think they ever do that? What do you think about
Look
that?
at the president of Tanzania.
Is that how? Is that how? I didn't. I mean, I know that I know what he said. He tested the fruits and they all came back positive. But I don't. Is that? Did he die?
And go, if you guys watching right now, go to unlimitedhangout.com, Whitney Webb's website. She has a wonderful, like, just really so thoroughly sourced and well put together series on what happened in Tanzania. But Joseph Magufuli, I'm gonna screw up the last name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's impossible to say. Yeah.
But not only did he had an orange tested for COVID and it came back positive, right? So he had kicked out the WHO, had said we're not going to have any of these, gene therapy. We're not going to enforce gene therapy on our citizenry. Not going to happen. Said that the Rona itself.
We got to be careful. We're on YouTube. You know what I mean? Everybody that's watching knows the deal. We know.
So
but he exposed. He exposed it.
So he comes out one day and he goes, I'm kidding. It's all real. Don't disregard everything I said already.
Malfley said that?
We're going to bring. And then 48 hours later, he disappears. He's vanished off the face of the earth for 2 months, comes back, shows up out of nowhere, drops dead of a heart attack.
Wow, I didn't understand the circumstances. I didn't know that he switched his tune. He realized, and those guys are so vulnerable too. And those like the CIA is literally built to go for. And I'm not trying to call Africa crackpots, but that's what they want to go after. Is like Libya. Muammar Gaddafi made a good place in Libya, from what I understood, before Hillary Clinton made it a slave state. Like they love this. They get off to being like, oh, let's go dismantle this government, and overthrow it with our citizen army that we can build up. You know what I mean? They literally train soldiers. It's sick. Sorry. Were you going to say something?
You're absolutely right. Look, the entire U.S. foreign policy is based on the acquisition of and overthrow of democratically elected governments, so that you can turn them into a client state, so that you can extract the natural resources and wealth of that country, so that you can turn it into a broader, empirical defense network.
And that's really the problem. Is it's like the military-industrial complex is turning us into this empire of a bunch of crap we don't need. We don't need We don't need. I think we have 248 foreign military bases. Why? Why do we have 200?
We've got 800.
Is it 800?
900 that we're allowed to know about. This does not count forward operating bases.
Where did I get 248? There must be 248 something, but okay.
There's 248 in the Mideast alone. There's like 75 just around Iran.
What? Wow, I didn't realize that. We have over 1,000 I mean, what is the point of 1,000 military bases unless it is to colonize the world? Because they say we're spreading democracy, but we don't. I mean, give me a freaking break, right?
Could we try some here first? Maybe.
No doubt about it. But I don't know what the solution is, because now, Steve, everybody, you and I are going to be considered what is called a domestic terrorist, and I hate that, and it really gives me. That's why I wasn't saying like you're trying to hide. I mean, you put your name out there, but you know what I mean. I got my name out there, and it kind of sucks. I kind of don't. I want to get big enough where I can make a living and do this comfortably, but I also don't want to become a target. Once you get too big, then they got to take you out, and that's almost like a. I'm primetime 99. I'm going to get huge, and they're going to kill me, Steve. They're going to 86 me, dude. I'm screwed.
So here's what you do. You go full John McAfee for as long as you can.
He's in jail now.
From a pirate yacht in the middle of international waters. And you just ride that out for as long as possible, because, on a long enough timeline, everyone's survival rate drops to zero. So if you know it's coming, pirate yacht.
He is a badass. McAfee, did he get on the pirate yacht? But I think now he's in a jail in like Belarus or somewhere.
Germany. Yeah,
wow.
awaiting extradition for tax evasion. And successfully was like running for president as a libertarian last year while evading arrest on a pirate yacht. Like, I mean, as a character arc, software developer to possible murderer to fled on a pirate yacht, pretty interesting. You know,
he's good. I don't know if I could do the pirate life though, Steve, because I have cats. I'm in Dallas. I'm a bitch ass, dude. I don't know, man. It sounds nice. The Caribbean sounds nice, but dude, I think I'm a land animal.
Yeah, I mean, you know, me too. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm much more comfortable in the mountains than even though I live.
Where are you, Steve? Where are
What's
you?
That?
What area? What state are you in? If you can, are you in an undisclosed location?
I am unfortunately in California, but I'm in the Santa Cruz Mountains. We're like just condensed version of the Emerald Triangle, like California's growing.
I'm very familiar. That's an awesome place to be. You know, that is
so
like.
I'm actually moving to Southern Humboldt here soon, but for the time being, I'm in Santa Cruz County.
Is there a lot? There's a lot of work in the cannabis industry over there. One of my good buddies, Clint Renfro, his brother's a hemp farmer in Colorado. The marijuana, that's a big psyop. You know, I believe, I just had a doctor on though. She said, oh, it's still a drug and this and that. I believe that has anti-cancer benefits. I don't know. I know that might sound crazy to a person, but
there's a University of Chicago study that came out a couple of months ago that said that both CBD and THC help fight off the
the virus. And dude, like I've just seen videos of parents that weren't lying, that had autistic children, that when they give it to them, they have less seizures and they calm down. I mean, man, if I had an autistic child, God bless, and that would calm them down. I'm not saying that's a good solution, but that would probably help. I mean, come on, you know, let's help. Life is hard enough.
Look, here's what we know that isn't debatable, and that's like a human being's brain doesn't fully develop until they're 26 years old. So if you're going to go out and get wrecked, maybe take that into consideration. You know, like, but in terms of medicine, if you're going to give someone a relatively small amount of THC versus a relatively small amount of synthetic heroin, I would much rather you give someone a relatively small amount of an actual natural painkiller and euphoric, you know, and you don't even have to give them the euphoric. You can just give them CBD, which doesn't have a psychoactive ingredient in it. And then the anti-inflammatory kicks in, and, you know, generally, you may not feel better, but you'll feel better.
It helps. And this is why I know it's a psyop. I think that's a psyop because they always say, oh, there's not enough government testing on it. Yet they'll put out emergency use authorization thing for everybody can just take. You know what I mean? They just talk right out of their ass when it comes to this stuff. It's such bonkers banana bull crap. It just makes me sick. So that's why I think when they hide the weed, that means, oh shit, we probably need just a little, not too much, because it can become a crutch. This is the weed show. I didn't know you're in the Golden Kush Triangle though, Steve. I need to come up there and visit you. Oh, the other thing, as a broadcaster, I know people are going to get annoying. Do you like the racer chair? Because this is the controversy I've heard with the racer chair. Real quick, I want to ask your opinion. Is if that is supposed to be a car seat in a race car, and that's theoretically, I'm in the car business. I sell used cars. I'm a used car dealer. And all my teachers used to hate me, and they used to be like, if Alex, you don't shut up, you're becoming a used car salesman. That's what I do. But don't get me started. What it is. Teachers are right about a lot of shit. The racer chair. Are you comfortable? Is it not comfortable? It looks cool. What is your thoughts?
I gotta say, man, having gone from just a regular office chair, this is light years better. Like, I mean, just without comparison, better than a standard office chair. I don't have anything else to compare it to. but just going off a regular, or like an event chair or a fucking folding chair or something like that. Yeah, no, but what I like is that there's like a couple extra ways for you to cushion and or support your lower back. I mean, it does it. I'm not going to try and do like product pitching here.
No, I'm interested. I'm thinking about getting a new chair, so I'm asking. I don't know if I'm going to get the racer chair. It looks badass. That's why it gives you a little bit of a confidence boost too. You're sitting in some bitch ass chair. I swear, you look like you got a pillow on that thing. It looks like a fucking heavy duty hardcore thing. You're sitting in there ready to freaking. I know this sounds funny, but we're in a studio broadcasting right now. Telling the truth, why not have a cool chair? I mean, it's like why not?
Look,
yeah,
absolutely. And look, no, I will say this, man, because I have a good friend in the UK named Gordon Dimmick who is also a podcaster, a YouTuber, and an on the ground activist. And he got like this exact chair, So I asked him, I'm like, hey, pitch me on it because they're not cheap, and if it really worked, I'll go ahead and spend the bucks on it. And he was like, brother, I changed my life, And I'm
he loved it. He loved it. Everybody loves it.
So I got it, and then my good friend Nico House was like, hey, my back's going out, my neck's going out, I'm about ready to quit the damn business because I can't sit here, is it worth it? And I was like, well, shit, dude, give it a shot. And 6 weeks later, he's like, it saved my life. It did. I can keep doing this. So I mean, and there's like 800 different kinds, so it's not even like I'm telling you to get a specific kind, but I would at least think about it. I would consider it. You
like the racer chair. That's what I'm saying, guys. I'm thinking about, I got to get this brown one's a nice chair, but it's just an old kind of chair. I want to get something a little more dominant like that. Maybe a different color, obviously, but something.
You're in the conspiracy castle. You may as well have a throne.
Exactly.
Otherwise, what the hell's the point?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I got to get a throne chair. I've been looking at them. There's $300 or $400 though. I mean, they're not. I mean, I'm going to end up getting something. The one I'm thinking about getting. Wow, Steve, we're really talking about all the heavy hitting information that they want to hear. But that's what it's about. We're shooting the shite. We're just here on this show we can talk about anything. But okay, I want to ask you, how are you so connected with Whitney Webb? I mean, she's as heavy hitter as it gets. Have you known her a while, or what's your connection with Whitney? Because I just saw you interviewed her.
I hit her up cold in 2018. She had something in Mint Press that I was like, wow, this is great. Hey, would you please come on the show? And we had a great interview. And so she came back and we had another great interview. And now she says that we're her favorite show.
Wow.
So I take that as a pretty giant compliment, considering like people like Tim Dillon have her on.
And Tim Dillon's huge. He's got like this biggest Patreon out there. I mean, biggest what is it? Yeah, biggest Patreon. Tim Dillon's huge, and he's tight with Whitney Webb. But Whitney Webb is, I mean, everybody knows her in the conspiracy world, or at least they should, don't you think? I mean, isn't that obvious?
But I mean, look, what ultimately is conspiracy theory at this point, other than people who aren't afraid to talk outside of the narrative?
And you know where it came from. It came from the JFK. The CIA created the word conspiracy theorists to demonize.
They weaponized it. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, and ever since, and it's been weird to see the arc of it too, because from the assassination of JFK up into 9/11, conspiracy theorists were almost always crazy pinko lefty commies, right? And now, post 9/11, almost every quote-unquote conspiracy theorist is supposed to be some sort of domestic terrorist right-winger. And that just kind of shows you that it can be weaponized against anyone, regardless of where their supposed political ideologies lie, because it's always people who just know they're being lied to.
Yeah, I mean,
would like to figure out who, what, when, where, and why without having one of the 6 major corporations that own 95% of all media telling them how they should think and feel about something.
We're definitely being ran by multinational corporations. There's no doubt about that. But you talked about 9/11. I'm a 9/11 nut. 9/11 is the thing that, woke me up to a lot of stuff. So tell me this, kind of how was your 9/11 awakening, and tell me your experience of, like, how did you realize, tell me about what happened the day it happened, and then how long did it take you to realize it was bullcrap?
September 11th, 2001, I was at the Tuxedo Park Renaissance Festival because for a number of years I traveled around the country. Every like 2 months I would go to a different Renaissance festival as
You're in the nice gear. You're in all the gear at the Renaissance.
No. I wasn't one of those guys. I mean, I did have to wear like a costume, right? Because you have to. But I
it's like a T-shirt.
I worked at a leather booth. I was a human taxi. I sold puzzle rings and historic replications of scientific navigational instruments.
I've been to. Everybody's been to. The Renaissance Fair is fun. Everybody likes the Renaissance Fair. Lit, yeah.
Lit. But so I was in the campground, and the freaking like you could see, because here's Tuxedo Park, Tappan Zee Bridge, New York City. It's right there. Okay. Right. I mean, it's
right off the Tappan Zee Bridge. Okay, you were in New York at the time. Okay, yeah. Wow. Okay, so dude, didn't Owen Benjamin used to work at that Renaissance Fair? I think I don't know if he worked at that one. Owen Benjamin, I remember said he worked at a Renaissance Fair near New York.
One of my best friends, and the guy whose property that I will be buying a little slice of and building some cabins and stuff on here just in a couple of weeks, is like best friends with Owen Benjamin.
Wow, you need to ask Owen Benjamin if because I swear he worked at he was like one of the jesters or something. He was like a comedian at a thing.
I believe that. I do. But so we saw like plume of smoke off in the distance. We went to no TV, again.
You saw the plume of smoke in the distance? Shut up! Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you can see a fucking plume. It's just what, like 6 miles?
And the day was clear. Like the day was totally clear.
It was. And so we go down the little deli that's like had the one working television and just anywhere near there, really, ultimately. And it's packed. Everybody's trying to squeeze in. So we watched the second tower hit from there. The second plane hit from there.
At the deli.
And I mean, this is, the Tuxedo Park, New York. There's like the Red Apple Rest, which is in a bunch of Woody Allen movies right across the street. And, everybody's New York is
Was
shit.
Everybody crying? Like, what was it?
100%. I mean, there were people interior, people
I remember my dad crying. Everybody was crying. That was a natural reaction.
And I'm in 2001, I'm like 23, and already incredibly like, I wasn't buying the official narrative from
already. Wow, so you kind of knew, Steve. Already.
I grew up in the '90s, brother. I had clean LSD. I had coast to coast barbell. I had real punk rock. I had real hip hop, and I had friends that were older than me.
The '90s is the best time there ever was, dude. Political correctness was not how it was, dude. It was so badass from what little I remember as a kid. I mean, just the content I saw on MTV Spring Break was awesome in the '90s as a kid. It was a time.
Primus.
Dude, we'll never get back to that. Like the original South Park. I mean, it's society is. We're really getting into the 1984 Orwellian Brave New World where we're on total lockdown with our phones and a new digital jail cell, I believe.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, but so you see the plume of smoke, so you were already not buying it at 23, and then were you watching Loose Change right when it came out? Or what the heck? Or were you?
I mean, more or less, yeah. We had followed along with the commission and the report. I was really like a as much as you can be a fan of a politician, I was a fan of Cynthia McKinney. Okay. And she was one of the people who would not let this go. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I still vote for her for president, just as a joke, because she's awesome. She is. So she was, she was a dog with a bone with this thing, man. And when the commission,
did she lose somebody in 9/11 or something? Is that why she was so nuts about it?
No, she just knew it was bullshit.
Okay.
She just knew that she was being lied to. She was not prepared to settle for their answer. I mean, because she was from Georgia, it's not like she had skin in the game, really. So commission comes out, NIST report comes out, like Loose Change and all of that stuff. And at what point? Like, at what point in my experience at 23 did I have any legitimate reason to believe my government in the first place? One. But two, out of everything that George W. Bush said and did, the one thing I'm supposed to believe is God's truth, is what happened on September 11th. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to look at this a little bit closer. And in the ensuing years, I've gotten to know people like Burmis, and I've gotten to know Dylan Avery, and I've gotten to know Richard Gage. We just had Richard Gage from Architects and Engineers.
I'm interviewing him on Thursday. I'm excited to talk to him. That's gonna be.
Wonderful,
I mean, on
man.
Friday. I said Thursday, but yeah, was he
Wonderful,
nice?
man.
Was he awesome?
Really
Yeah,
is.
I like him. I mean, I've seen him for years and years and years. So you've been awake to all the BS you knew before the 9/11 Commission report, because I'm telling you, I didn't about figure 9/11 out till like 2015. I mean, I'm really new, and I heard it. I mean, heard thermite. You know, I heard stuff, but I didn't care. I was asleep. I was just worried about freaking getting laid and getting drunk and just whatever. You know what I mean? Just taking care of my bills or just trying to make it through the month, you know?
Yeah. So one thing that we say on the show all the time, and it's because I believe it, and it's because I believe people need to remind themselves too. Everybody's on a path. Nobody is on the same spot on the path as you are. Nobody. So as long as you're trying to keep moving forward along your path, I got nothing but love for you. I don't care when you started. I don't care where you started. Your heart's in the right place, and you want to learn and you want to grow. Brother, we're here for you.
Oh, I know, but it's a messed up world when you tell that, world's run by pedophile elitists that want to like literally steal our bad vibration so they can feed off it and harvest it and harvest our turmoil and want to, depopulate us by 6.5 billion people potentially from the Georgia Guidestones. You start looking into this stuff, it's pretty heavy, right, Steve?
Well, yeah, but I mean, look, I don't know, actually I haven't said this yet, but there's this is gonna initially piss you off. Okay. There's an essay called 3 Cheers for Socialism. Okay. And it is broadly fantastic.
I think medicine should be socialized. The fact that an ambulance costs like $1 million is bullshit, but go ahead.
It's written by a Christian socialist. I can't remember his name. I wasn't familiar with the sect of Christian socialism prior to reading this thing. It's actually kind of fascinating. It's the ideology that was it Chris Hedges that he ascribes to. At any rate, there are 2 things that I have found inarguable in this essay. And the first one is the United States is the most propagandized country on the planet. Hands down accurate. And then the other thing is the citizens in the United States, as a rule, we don't know our own history, let alone the history of other countries. And that simple fact right there, Alex, is what allows for us to be the most propagandized country on the face of the earth. Because as a rule, we don't know our history. We don't know our recent history. We don't know our origin story. Not really. And then as people in this business, they're just trying to get some truth out here. Not only do we have to fight the rewriting of history, we have to fight the rewriting of real time as it happens. Because we have this, constantly moving media. We have this constantly shifting narrative, and it's almost always full of crap.
It's always bullshit. If just think how fake the news is, and how could our history be real? But I want to ask you, what about Tartaria? Are you into Tartaria? What do you think about the timeline of our existence?
As something to explore for I don't know, like a to be considered after we actually get some agency thing. It's fun, but I honestly, man, it's not where my specific area of interest lies. Although I'm gonna have Mark Steves back on this Sunday, and I think we're gonna dive into it pretty deep. But when that whole thing was really starting to get repopularized as a theory, kind of like 2018, early 2019. I was so deep into the
Assange in real life
we've been on that I kind of missed the train. I didn't get to catch up on it or anything, so I'm gonna get educated on it.
Well,
This
I'm not an expert either, but basically, I mean, it comes down to when you look at a lot of the architecture that we have is incredible, and all the architecture from like 1870s, these elegant buildings built with no power tools, and now we build a building that looks like shit, dude. It's the cheapest materials, it's the cheapest crap. Yeah, we have all the tools. So what it just I don't know what the timeline is, but it leads you to believe that maybe Tesla, maybe these people did have some sort of energy or some sort of technology, maybe not the internet, maybe not whatever. I don't know that we don't know about, that they didn't tell us about, and they just repackage it and have it controlled in a different way because I don't know, maybe they couldn't control the people with what they had. So I don't know. I don't know the time. This is all speculation, rumoring in your window. You know what I mean? And I see you kind of want to stay. You probably want to stay in the stuff you can touch and feel with your hands, because if you're dealing with Whitney Webb and stuff, you kind of like to go after the nitty gritty, in your face conspiracies that you can.
I mean,
prove.
dude, I'll wild out with you. We can go pretty much anywhere, but like, yeah, to speak to it with any kind of authority, man, I'm probably not that guy, but we can hang out, and talk some shit. I'm down.
No, I know. Okay, so let me tell you this for the people watching, guys. Tonight, I didn't even plug it. I just put it on Twitter, but at 7:30 we have a debate on Modern Day Debate. I want to and what the debate is: should critical race theory be taught in school? So let me tell you my little bit of understanding of critical race theory. Basically, it creates everything that critical race theory complains about. It bases everything on race. It puts us in classes, and what it does is it focuses on intersectionality. And I was like, what is intersectionality? So this is what intersectionality is. This is like the example they use. Like a black woman that wants to be an activist for a woman's voting movement, when she goes to that group, since she's black, even though she's a woman, she's still less than, because there's white people there. So she's at the bottom of. She has an unfair advantage. Now, if she goes to a black activist meeting and she goes there, she's at an unfair advantage because she's not a man. Even though she's black, she's not a man. So what happens is you look at people that, it's called pumping up the people that are victims of intersectionality. So it's a way to become a victim. It's like a white person the same as me, but if they're gay, they're more of a victim of intersectionality, because it's better. The top person is a white, straight male. You have no racism against you whatsoever, which is provably false. I'm not saying white people are racist, but dude, that is false. And I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, but when you put everything into races and classes, that is inherently racism, and that's like the basis of critical race theory is putting race into classes and a social system that's easier to understand to children.
I personally, I think one of the most well executed government operations in terms of control of a population is to get people to think that if they add more hyphens to whatever label it is they are, the better of a person they automatically become. And when you've got people that need to like ascribe a dozen labels on them that further and further narrow the parameters of allowable conversation that they're going to have with you, you have a lot of people walking around in very specific ideological bubbles that are not allowed to talk to people outside of those bubbles lest they become impure. And that's a brilliant operation right there, to get people to think that like their neighbor or their family member or their coworker or anyone in their community is not worthy of conversation with them because they don't have the right labels attached to their particular schools of thought or ideology. Like that is just commendable right there in terms of unmitigated evil. You know what I mean?
It's the worst. No, but I mean, and they admit it's based in Marxism, and the idea is communalism. It's like that we all need to come together, and that in the future, it literally comes out of, like I said earlier, in 1984, in that book, it's illegal to love another person because to love something, that means you have possession over it. So that's not total. That's why you're not allowed to have a relationship in those futures. That's why you can't date, because that is not you have to sell your soul to the state. So that's literally what it wants to do. Is it wants to make you sell your soul. It wants to make equity. So I have to sacrifice my life to put somebody else up. So we're all equal, but it's not equal. You have to take away from me to give to somebody else. It's just this equity, this fake equity. It's not like the 90s when things were not politically correct and it was awesome. And I mean, think about this. And I'm not pro this. I think he was a sex pest. He's a freak. But, Jerry Seinfeld dated a 17-year-old girl in the 90s when he was the number one comedian in the world. Imagine if somebody did that today, what would happen, Steve? He'd be in jail.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Or there would be a whole movement around changing the age of consent because Jerry Seinfeld said so. It's not supposed to make sense. Like, and here's where it gets weird because, like, if you have to take away something from anyone to give somebody else a right, then it's not a right. And when you approach it, I don't have anything necessarily wrong with the concept of communalism, but communalism as a practice by which everyone has to have an order of import or a speaking order in order to be considered equal, that's silly. That's just silly. It is. Like, if you want a community to operate and function well, there's always going to have to be some degree of census. And if there's not, then it's a central authority running something. If a central authority is in charge, corruption and sociopathy is going to rise to the top because that's what happens in centralized powers of authority. Doesn't matter what shape their hat is or what color their shirt is, if they're communist or if they're fascist or whatever. Like, if you're running an authoritarian state, inherently there's violence in that. Inherently there's inequality in that. Inherently there's corruption in that. So to look at something from a more like communal perspective, I believe is a good idea, but trying to make it to where everyone has a specific, like, I don't know, you've got to let them happen organically. Like, you can't make people do things that they're not wired to do.
Well, that's what it goes against objective truth. It tries to make 2 + 2 = 5 instead of 2 + 2 = 4. That's what it changes objective truth to the natural order of things. It's really a weird thing, and I'm not even anti-school. Everybody needs to be homeschooled. I mean, give me a break. But it's just I go on these. Do you ever do any debates, Steve? You ever go on any debate shows?
Not since I've been doing this. I've been in a lot of debates. But no, I haven't done any of the on-camera stuff yet.
You gotta debate. You'd be tough. You look tough. You'd kick ass. You'd be intimidating. Somebody comes on, they'd be like, "Look at this guy with his tattoos, his beard." If you're talking about, like, I debate 9/11. So if you were debating some, wimp on 9/11, 9/11 official story, you'd scare them to death. They'd be shaking in their boots. If I can scare them, you'd knock them out.
I'm for it, man.
I'll set you up the modern day debate. I'm about to go after this. Okay, we don't have to talk about critical race theory, but guys, that is going to be coming up tonight at 7:30. So I want to plug that. And I just put the link in the chat if you guys want to come ask a question. I know sometimes since we do the questions or video chat, people are a little shy. But if you guys want to come on and ask a question, because Steve has a hard out here in about 20 minutes. So if you guys want to ask a question, hurry up and get on because Steve is going to get out of here very soon. Okay, Steve, did you see there was a journalist and they purposely made his plane. They said they did a fake bomb threat on his plane to make it land in Belarus so they could charge him with the crime for organizing an anti-pandemic protest. And I'm pro-pandemic. Just for everybody listening, CDC is great. We love Dr. Fauci. Everything. We are we love the pandemic. Yes, God bless you, Dr. Fauci. What I'm saying is he did a rally against it on Instagram, and now they said that he's for sure going to face torture and it could do life in prison. So theoretically, this is my question though. I love to bitch and moan about America, but shit, that wouldn't fly in America, or not yet at least. I mean, we got a little better freedom than that.
Well, I mean, let's also remember that at the U.S.'s behest and under the U.S.'s orders, the president of Bolivia's plane was grounded because the U.S. government thought that Edward Snowden was on it.
Yeah, we do the same thing. And then what happened in January, we can't even talk about that event. And one of my good friends was there, and his life is ruined. He's still in jail. They won't even give him a bond.
Is he really?
Yes,
yes. I was there.
You were no. My buddy Luke Coffey. Yeah, they played it on the news.
Okay.
He had a stick. He had a. All he did was have a crutch, but he went right by where the guy was getting slammed with a stick, and they charged him with assault of an officer, dude. His life's
That's insane.
Assault of an officer, dude. 6 felonies. His life's ruined. Like, there's a lot of people think of trespassing not a big deal. I know multiple people that got arrested and let out the next day. Dude, in Fort Worth, they arrested him, and the day of his bond, they said, no, you're violent. We got to send you up to D.C. You got to face a magistrate in D.C. for the federal magistrate, or however that works. It's insane. And I used to think Trump was a good guy. Dude, Trump's as crooked as a dog's hind leg. He became a salesman for AstraZeneca, whoever he could. Dude, Trump is... I thought he was going to put the pedophiles. He said he was going to put Hillary Clinton in jail, and I held out hope. He screwed me. What do you think about Trump, Daddy, Steve?
So I'm supposed to think that a proven con man who doesn't pay his contractors. I'm a carpenter, by the way. Like by trade, I'm a carpenter. And so I knew going in that Trump didn't pay his contractors. That like almost enough. That on its face would have been enough. But I mean, he was groomed by Roy Cohn.
Yeah.
He's Les Wexner's buddy. Like, these are all things that there's a lot about Donald Trump that is just on its face horrific. So when he flipped from being Hillary Clinton's buddy and Bill Clinton's golf buddy to their opponent, and then we see in WikiLeaks that was also the focus on Trump, was at the behest of the Clinton campaign. Like, I mean, that came out in 2016 before the election. We knew that. We knew about the Pied Piper theory, So what he was saying on the campaign trail always and only sounded like a politician trying to get elected to me.
Yeah, I mean, they could have really cooked Biden's goose too with all that Hunter shit. They never did. They could have mounted a reasonable and thorough challenge to the election, which was 100%. Yeah, we gotta say that. Yeah, we can't say that on YouTube. Yeah, but it was 100% accurate, is what it was for the people watching at home that understand that. No.
According to Time Magazine, not only was it the most sacred and accurate election in the history of ever, always, it was even fortified, Alex. Like, it got vitamins pumped into it, fortified for us. You wouldn't put that on the cover of Time if it wasn't true.
No, it wouldn't. Hold on, I gotta find Sophia Smallstorm's website, because you talked about the fortified. It was the best election there ever was. But this is what. So guys, there's videos. Guys, we're probably gonna even have to put this on the Rokfin. I get so many strikes already. But let me show you this. I want to share screen this. So they're saying magnets are sticking to the site of people's. I don't know if you've heard this. And so this guy does this experiment. This is gonna freak y'all out. So what this guy does is he does an experiment with cereal. He crushes up cereal. This is total cereal. And what they fortify this with, Steve, is actual iron particles. Like, I didn't know that. Guys, look at this. Look how gross this is. This is him doing an experiment. They crush up cereal, put it in liquid. Now he's going to put a magnet to it. Watch this, Steve. This is going to freak you out. I mean, this is what's in our cereal that we eat all the time. Let's see.
I think you can already see, if I move this magnet to the side, little spot of iron that's formed there. That was in there. There's plenty more in there, though, so we'll collect a little bit more.
I eat cereal all the time.
Really disgusts the students. They don't like to see cereal blended with water, and they certainly don't like to see elemental iron, the kind of iron that's in nails and car bodies, in their breakfast cereal. But it's important for them to realize that that's an important nutrient, mineral for them to have in their diets. Now, once it's in the body, of course, it digests and it gets converted into iron ions, but it is in there as elemental iron.
But see, the reason why this is good, this is what they say.
That is, in fact, the iron magnetic. Watch happens when I pull it over there.
It'll give you it gives you an idea of the technology they have, how small and how it can move like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're saying. I don't know if that's 100% true, but Some people are saying that's why magnets are sticking. I don't know. I'm so afraid. I just went and did a video, an activist video, where they were doing the military is mobilized in Deep Ellum, and I was, did the video in front of them, and they didn't care. I just hate this. Just sucks, Steve, that we're so censored on YouTube. What do you think about this censorship? I mean, it's only going to get worse, right?
100%. As of June 1st, YouTube is going to nuke any channel that they deem not commercially viable. So here they're doing two things. They're rolling out two things on June 1st. One is that even if you're not monetized, they will put ads on your content. And as to whether or not they're going to play upfront, during, or at the end, I don't know, but I can see, Alex, like with shows like ours, they put an ad break in every 3 minutes just to make the content totally unwatchable. So where you're like, I can't even do this.
And I purposely didn't monetize my channel because I don't want people to have to watch all those ads. But they're going to kill it. They're going to put the 3-minute commercials all at the beginning of these long videos.
Yeah, and then if they decide that you're not commercially viable because people aren't, putting enough watch time at your content or whatever arbitrary reason YouTube wants, they can just nuke your channel whenever they want. So diversification of platform is key. Getting on as many different platforms as you possibly can, I think, is because you're going to find your audience somewhere.
It seems like you're doing well on Rokfin. How do you like that so far? How's your experience? We got 8 people watching. Last night
I got nothing but love for Rokfin. I'm glad they got their Android app out. I hear it performs better than the iOS app. I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know. It works great for me. And it's all about a platform that doesn't censor its content creators, because we have a relatively small channel on Rokfin still, it's around 5,000 subscribers, something like that, 446, I don't know. But we are consistently in the top 4 videos for any given day, week, or month, and so
you're getting good donations too. Not just say it seems like it looks like you're getting decent donations for sure on your videos.
Yeah, the tipping thing is wonderful there. Really,
that you can tip anytime. That's awesome. YouTube should have, I don't have my channel monetized, but they should be able to tip. The tip button should always be on. Why is it only on for a certain time? That doesn't make sense.
Dude, it's so weird to wake up in the morning and have, a couple of text messages that are like, hey, you got $2, you got $5, you got $10, whatever. It's cool as shit.
It feels awesome. It makes you feel good. And because, listen, we don't get a lot of accolades, at least from my family and friends. I've been excommunicated from everybody, not like officially, but basically excommunicated. I'm the freaking conspiracy nut. So, guys, a little support from you guys, a little financial support. It's not even about the money. It's really about the emotional support. Hey, somebody gives a shit, and that actually means more than the $2. I promise you that.
Oh, 100%. It can feel like you're just screaming into the void.
A lot of the times it does. Even with a small audience, it feels like because we're never going to be able to get mainstream or big talking about this because we're so censored. We'll never be able to have a true audience or true chance to get seen. And so it really sucks. It feels like the void, like you said sometimes.
But my favorite comics are, I did Bill Hicks, Patrice O'Neal, Rich. But Rich got huge, Carlin got huge, but Bill Hicks did not, and I've always sort of existed outside of the mainstream anyway. So when I started doing this, I knew going in that I was niche or underground in the first place. I don't even think I'm trying to reach hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to reach the people who, are
that care.
Opting out, thinking about building out a community, thinking about becoming an activist, something like that, and just need somebody who is crazy enough to be like, no, you right there, you, the person, yes, you are capable of doing this. Not only are you capable of doing it, you're the only one who can save you.
We are the only one that could save us, and you're right. You don't need a trillion people. I don't need a trillion people, but I don't like to do this in front of nobody, guys. We do like to, like I'm saying, there is a happy medium where, yeah, you get so big, you're like Steven Crowder or these YouTube guys. I feel like they're just bought and sold, and I like these guys. I at the end of the day, I feel like I'm a comedian trying to entertain people because we live in this world where we're under constant trauma-based mind control. Literally everywhere we turn is just, an unpleasantry that people try to victimize themselves. Like every person you talk to, they just want to be a victim, so you feel sorry for them. So I try to make people laugh to get away from that nightmare, because it's really heavy sometimes if you have our lens. We have the they live glasses, so it's kind of bleak when you see what's really happening.
It is, and I also advocate like dumping your brain out is what I call it at the end of the night. Like I'll go grab some, weird like sci-fi comedy whatnot to read.
Exactly.
Or I'll listen to actual. I fell asleep the other night listening to the 2003 roast of Patrice O'Neal.
And Patrice is the best.
Well, and this was like shot on somebody's personal camcorder. Like, at the Boston Comedy Club. It was. I don't think it was supposed to be released, bro. Like, and it's now on YouTube. And I mean, they go in on the people in the comedy circuit that they don't like. And it, like that wasn't supposed to be for us, and we got it. So I'm gonna treasure it until somebody gets really pissed off and has it removed.
Well, I've seen clips of it. Patrice O'Neal was woke. He was Alex Jones a bunch. Have you listened to all of his 9/11 stuff with Alex Jones? It's the best. Have you listened to that, Steve? His interview.
I've listened to a good amount of it.
Listen to his interview with Alex Jones. So he has like 3 of them, I believe. They're the best interviews ever. Him with Alex Jones. Okay, Tommy, welcome to the show. Your mom and sister just got back from happy hour. I'd like to see your mom if she'd like to say hello. I mean, I kind of miss her.
Sandy, he's begging for you already.
Sandy.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's Alex. Sandy, what did you have at happy hour? Margarita?
the other day on that freaking magnet shit.
I know. But what did you have at happy hour? Did they have wings or did they have anything good? What did they have at happy hour? Anything?
On happy hour?
Oh, I thought you were doing something cool. Okay, Tommy, we have Steve only for a minute. We can only hear about your mom's happy hour for so long. Okay. What do you have for Steve?
Steve, I did miss what you were saying. If you're Slow News Day from Rokfin,
yes,
I'm full for that since I jumped in Rokfin. So you guys are doing that Rokfin move. It's not the worst. I'm not mad at it. The player is funny with my Android phone. I know that much.
Is it? Okay. I had to it's working on mine. I don't know, but I'm also I really don't get to watch stuff often.
What you look like you're a guy from you put that kid or that girl down for Silence of the Lambs.
Mom, what the fuck? Why? No, he doesn't. The Silence of the Lamb guy looks different.
I'm not talking about what he looks like. I'm talking about his background.
His background? You're talking about my background?
Yeah, your background. Whoever this guy right there is.
No, that's Steve. Yeah, she's talking about Steve. What is Mom?
Mom.
There's some trees. Granted, they're blue leaves, but this is my good friend Johnny Larson is.
Tommy, your mom is one of the toughest ladies I've ever met on my show. She's one of the toughest women. Where does she get? I mean, is that just at North Dakota?
North Dakota, the Turtle Mountain Indian Reservation.
Damn. I don't want to go on that Indian reservation. You're going to slice me up. All right, Tommy.
I was an Olsen growing up on an Indian reservation. Have you ever met a Native American with the last name of Olsen?
Only one. You're the most unique woman I've ever met in my life. One of the most beautiful, one of the most fantastic.
Is that the right word? Yeah, anomaly. Sounds right.
You're native. You're native. You're not only Native American, you're native to my heart. You feel good in my heart right now. I just want you to know
That's adorable.
I just want you to know that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just love you.
The horse.
And I just want you to know I care about you guys.
Sorry, Steve, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, you did.
You're good.
You did. No, it's not good. It's not good. Steve's going to be really mad about it. He's going to be really mad. You guys are really out of pocket with this, but
because my daughter gave me a cup that says, "I don't apologize, so go and fuck yourself."
I have a cup that says "Cowboy Butts Drive Me Nuts." I drink coffee out of it every day. It's the only cup I use. Okay, bye. I'll
All right,
see
big
you.
guys, man. I'll talk to you guys in a bit.
See
Talk to you
y'all.
later.
Okay, bye. All right, Steve. Well, let me just say. Oh shit! I didn't mean to submit that. I always it means to do don't report. Well, guys, we've been talking for the last hour. Let's wrap this up here in the next 10 or 15 minutes. I know you have a hard out, and then guys, after this, please, I'm going to end this stream so we can post it, and then I'll be immediately going live in 5 minutes after for the debate show for the people watching. But dude, I got to have you on again, Steve, because we didn't really get to talk that much. But we'll talk all the time now. Hopefully, on Twitter and stuff. We'll definitely share a lot of information because you're welcome on my show anytime. Talk about 9/11, talk about what's going on, and we need to do a cross stream on Rokfin, like in a premium. We should do one together where what we'll do is we'll tease it on here and we'll talk just on Rokfin because maybe we'll get some more tips that way. Maybe your audience and
Have
audience.
you seen the way that Jason Burmis has structured his YouTube live streams now? If honestly, man, if YouTube had let us keep the total now 24,000 subscribers that they've unsubscribed from the channel, if we were that 30K channel right now, we would do the exact same thing where he'll go right up to the line that you can't say on YouTube, and then he'll cut that and finish the stream on Rokfin. And it's brought a lot of people over to the platform.
That's what I do. That's what I've been doing. I've done 2 streams like that and saying we got to do a stream. We got to do a stream like that where we'll go live on YouTube and then we'll just say, see ya. That's what I do. And usually about 50 or 60 people will follow you. That's what I've gotten so far. I'm not huge. I'm small, but that's still good. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining.
I mean, we're like, what, 3 months and 4 months into Rokfin live streaming?
Yeah,
maybe 5.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Well, I've only been doing it about a month, so I've only.
Dude, it's a brand new platform. I mean, we're pioneers, my friend.
I love it. I love the pioneers. Okay, Steve, what about this? I didn't ask you. Are you anti-sports, pro-sports? What do you think about sports? Is that to steal our?
I think sports are rigged as hell, but I will 100% suspend reality.
Yeah.
For a good hockey game or some world football.
So you're not a total psycho.
I was born a Chicago Cubs fan. I will die a Chicago Cubs fan.
God bless you. We got to have some normalcy. Like you said, you like to, at the end of the day, you can read all about Julian Assange's WikiLeaks emails of Hillary talking about, satanic ritualistic abuse, or you can watch a TV show about nothing so you can zonk out. And guys, we have to have a happy medium. I'm not saying that you need to be like this Ellen DeGeneres, I love Ellen, I want to go Oprah, but you can like a celebrity and not worship them, So what do you think about that? Like, how do these people plug and unplug from the matrix and find that happy medium, in your opinion, Steve?
Yeah, I would encourage going fishing because I likes to fish. But I mean, anything, music, reading, exercise, there's all kinds of ways you can unplug. You don't have to get caught up in this, and that's how burnout happens, man. That's how you really disconnect from reality when you spend too much time in the rabbit hole. Take your shoes off and get them in some dirt,
You're right. We need to go literally get our dauber in the mud. But somebody just called in real quick. Fundy, let's see if we can get a quick question before you go. We'll get you out of here in the next 5 minutes. Fundy, what do you have for us? Is this anybody? You there, Fundy?
Yeah.
What do you got for us before we see? Steve's got to go. Make it quick, please.
All right. I'm real happy that Steve was on your show. Never heard of him before, but thanks for bringing him on. It was a blast to listen to. Oh, and I appreciate the chair review. I think a nice chair might be a big help to my life. I've been weighing it, And as far as the magnets sticking to the arms and stuff, I just slowed down on it a little bit. What I found is that any smooth object kind of sticks to a person's skin. So really, what you'd want to do going forward is find a really rough magnet, because just smooth objects on skin. They not snag, they kind of suction in a way.
You got to do the experiment though, because it's like a magnet. You can feel the attraction. That's all I'm saying. You got to go test it on yourself, and it has to be a neodymium. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Magnet.
Yeah.
It can't be. It has to be a rare earth magnet. I believe maybe that's the proper term. Because a charcoal magnet will not work, and some refrigerator magnets won't work. And I just want to say the CDC is correct. No magnets work at all. The CDC is correct. Anthony Fauci is the smartest guy in the world. And the WHO is a great organization, and I just want to say the government and Joe Biden is the best president, and Kamala Harris is the best vice president that we've ever been blessed with. So, anything else before we get out of here, Fundy? You got anything else?
No, I'll let you finish the show, Steve. Thanks a lot. You're going straight to the top, Mr. Castle.
Thank you,
Fundy.
thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that was great. I'm happy that we got one last call in. I hate talking about magnets and all this stuff. I'm going to leave this on to YouTube, but if I do take it down, it'll be on the Patreon. So, what do you want to leave us with before you go, Steve? What's the last thing you kind of want to leave us with?
Grow food, buy bullets.
Everybody loves bullets. YouTube's going to love that. They're definitely going to like that. Yeah, buy bullets. And guys, make sure to if you guys want to learn how to transgenderize your child, you can just go to transgendersisright.com. Obviously, that's a joke. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have a great interview with Steve and I. Oh, before you go, actually, let me show one more thing. I want to show your website. Share screen. Let me do this.
SlowNewsDayShow.com.
Yes, let me show.
And Rokfin.com/SlowNewsDay.
Hold on real quick. For the people at home, this is it. Everybody needs to go SlowNewsDayShow.com, and there is tons of content, woke content. You guys are going to be your, stuff to your heart desire. You're going to have plenty of stuff to watch. So I definitely want to make sure to show that, guys. Slow News. I can't say that. I'm such an idiot. SlowNewsDayShow.com. And man, Steve, you crushed it. It sounds like everybody liked you. I mean, even though you were very flexible. It was, kind of last minute that we were able to get this done. We got to do it again. We got to do a Rokfin exclusive. We'll do a pre-show on YouTube. So I'll talk to you shortly, and you talk to whoever you need to, and we'll get it together. Does that sound good?
At Slow News Day Show on Twitter. Hit me up.
Everybody go to
those DMs.
Please, Slow News Day on Twitter. Get Steve's DMs. He's going to give you his secret recipe on how to grow, how to smoke, how to chill, how to be an overall cool, smart, non-sheep. And last thing I want to say, thank you, Dr. Fauci. Thank you, CDC, for everything you've done. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you very much, Johnson & Johnson, for your baby powder. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that's the Conspiracy Castle. I love y'all, and I will see you guys shortly.